we have an interview with The Verge with YouTube's Chief Product Officer, Neil Mohan. I'm probably saying that wrong. I didn't actually listen to it. I just read it. This is a really long interview. I honestly just recommend you going through and reading it yourself. But there were some interesting highlights in it overall in terms of like what was discussed. Obviously, their main focus is on YouTube Shorts and the new YouTube Shorts Fund. And this is, if you're unaware, YouTube is putting forward $100 million to help fund original Shorts content here on YouTube. So that way they can help monetize those creators, because currently there isn't really there's not really a monetization program for it. So as an existing YouTube partner, I can monetize my Shorts, but the ad revenue doesn't really work out because you're not displaying like display ads or pre-roll ads on the Shorts themselves. When they're viewed on mobile, ads are instead inserted in between Shorts, and so divvying that up gets messy. And so YouTube, what is being discussed in here is they are still trying to figure out what monetization looks like and how they can best optimize it and yada yada. But they are doing this $100 million fund, which will divide up among creators basically every month. If you are a YouTube Shorts uploader and blah blah blah, you can potentially get some money. What is really interesting is, of course, the Verge person brings up that Shorts is very clearly based off of a TikTok feature, and every time the Verge person brings up, Snapchat and TikTok and whatever, and this makes sense because they're a YouTube rep, and there are many legal and structural reasons why they can't mention another company, but they do everything possible to not address the other, the fact that it's based on a TikTok feature and everything like that. So the product officer here comes up with a very amusing explanation that says that YouTube Shorts is actually based off of the original YouTube video, which was My Day at the Zoo, and not TikTok, and comes up with this whole mental gymnastics to explain that Shorts actually came from the core content that was on YouTube, and that's what's inspired it, and not Snapchat or TikTok or Reels or anything like that, which is not true. But I think it does identify some important mindset things that YouTube does have that are true, as well as the kind of difference between what they're kind of getting at is the difference between what user-generated content actually represented back at the start of YouTube, when it was just, hey, I'm going to take my camcorder and film some stuff and post it because this new video thing, and what it is now, where you have this opus of high-quality polished content and high production value content versus the more raw stuff that you often get on mobile through Shorts and TikToks and things like that. And so that is the connection that they're trying to make here, which I think is an interesting kind of mindset to consider. And also, there was a video recently from Peter McKinnon where he was talking about the differences and like the expectations of a raw TikTok shot on your phone versus a highly produced YouTube video and all of that. And I think there's a lot more discussion to be had there. And frankly, it's amusing because when YouTube was this new thing, the difference between high polished content and more raw, unedited content was YouTube versus Vimeo. Vimeo was the platform for all of this polished stuff, and YouTube was the rough, I made it at home kind of thing. And now they have kind of split it back to where YouTube now has everything, and it's harder to get a balance of that. But there's also some emphasis on the fact that they don't want Shorts to drown out the existing content. There's all this concern that Shorts are going to get all this algorithmic juice and just kind of take over the website, and people who don't like that aren't going to do it, or people who don't want to make Shorts are going to miss out financially on the responsibility of making new content that performs better, and yada yada. And they try, the Mohan, however you say it, is trying to be as kind of straightforward in their response as possible, insisting that creators aren't going to be pushed into a specific content type that they don't want to make. That YouTube is home to a gamut of different types of video content and formats. So you have long-form documentaries and podcasts. You've got general 5 to 10 minute videos. You've got Shorts. You've got all these different formats, and YouTube has the responsibility to support all of these different formats and presentations, and that they don't want to just force everyone into the same kind of format or what have you, even if historically that has happened. And so they address some of the challenges that they've run into with creators being pushed into a certain format for mid-roll ads or what have you, but we'll see if that's the case, because historically we have seen that. But I do recommend you go watch it or listen to or read this interview. There is a lot of interesting things discussed. I found the why can I not say that? The less honest approach of why Shorts was created to be a little bit of a put off, I guess, so to speak. So, Speaking of YouTube, by the way, I'm actually skipping around on my topics here. If you are a Discord Nitro sub, you get 3 months free of YouTube Premium. You have to claim it before October 30th. Now, I have not clarified. Many of these offers, you have to be new to that thing. So if you have an existing YouTube Premium sub, you probably can't get the 3 months. That is unclear, but I have ran into that with the Xbox. Yeah, only new YouTube Premium subscribers. But if you've never had it before, you've been curious about it or what have you, you get 3 months to try it out for yourself. I recommend subscribing to it. Everyone's complaints about YouTube ads or whatever. I haven't had YouTube ads in years because I've been an original YouTube Red subscriber, and it's been amazing. And at one point I had to cancel it, and it was terrible. So I do recommend giving it a try. And frankly, I use YouTube Music as my primary YouTube thing. I was using Google Play Music, and frankly, I preferred that. But they shut that down and moved everything over to YouTube Music and whatever. But I actually enjoy YouTube Premium quite a bit. I've never really been a Spotify sub. I was for like a few months at a time, but YouTube Premium is actually pretty cool. YouTube Music is pretty cool as well. And you get to, if you sync it up with your actual YouTube account, then you can automatically track your likes on music videos and things like that. So it can add it to your playlist if you'd like and things like that, which is pretty cool as well. When I originally converted my stuff over to YouTube Music, they didn't support brand accounts yet. And so I had to make a separate personal YouTube Music, and now they do support brand accounts, but I've already had all my YouTube Music stuff on my personal, so that's a little out of sync, but I just moved too quickly, apparently, even though I felt like I moved last minute when they stopped supporting Google Play Music, but hey, whatever. But hey, that's how it goes.